got some problems that you wanna solve? Then let's chat. That job getting on your nerves, then let's chat. Girl, you know I can relate, so let's chat. Cause I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. What the bottom line is. What the bottom line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. Hey everybody, it's your girl Cece, the hostess with the mostest, and we are back for another episode of The Bottom Line Is. And I always gotta throw a little caregiving in there because caregiving is my world, right? And I think it's still a topic that even if you're not a caregiver, you can still relate to in your everyday life. So today's topic is how caregiving changes your identity. Who are you when everyone needs you? So I know I can already hear you saying to yourself, "Oh, wow, yes," because this is also going to be another amazing episode. And my guest for today is Monique. And you may remember her from my live that I did on caregiving about a little over a month ago. So I'm so happy that she is back so we can speak with her one on one about her journey as a caregiver because we all have stories. But caregiving is something that happens to us overnight. And, we got to pivot. We got to go with the flow. We got to do what we have to do. And sometimes, not sometimes, it is a sacrifice. And sometimes you do sacrifice who you were before caregiving to who you are becoming. So we're going to get all into it. And I'm so blessed to meet Monique. And she actually reached out to me via Facebook when I was looking for a podcast guest. And, here we are, months later and connecting and still connecting. And I'm sure we'll be doing some amazing things in the near future. So I am going to start the episode off with allowing Monique to do a proper introduction of herself. Monique?
Hey everybody. Hey Cece. Thank you for the connection and for allowing me to be on your platform again. I am Monique Duell. I'm the founder of Disability LLC here in Prince George's County, Maryland. I am a caregiver, as she said earlier. I am an author, an award-winning author. I do a little bit of everything. So I don't just write books. I do a little poetry, do a little singing, do a little cooking, a whole
Okay.
lot of caregiving and all of those kinds of things, and just teach people how to get resources and things like that that I didn't get when I was going through the beginning stages of my caregiver journey. So that's the gist of what I do.
Okay. And so, and I just learned, I didn't know you did all of that. And so I feel like caregivers, we have so many undiscovered talents, like truly.
Yeah.
And we have to wear so many hats and we just do it without like even batting an eye. Like it just comes natural to us. And I love that for us. And, before we continue, I did want to mention, so you are a caregiver to,
My 25-year-old son who has spastic diplegia, cerebral palsy, as well as my oldest brother who has autism.
gotcha. Okay. So she's handling it all, y'all. So we really got to get into it. So let's talk a little bit about before we get into the meat and potatoes of caregiving. Tell us who you were before you became a caregiver.
Ooh, I was outgoing. I was, yeah, just outgoing people person. Very vocal. Like to travel. Like meeting new people. That sort of thing. Typical young woman. I don't do clubs or anything like that. Movie buff, avid bowler, all that kind of thing. So before caregiving and all of that, a curious young woman trying to figure out what God wanted her to do with her life. Uh, keeping myself busy to stay out of trouble, of course, and all that sort of thing. That's who I was before I was somebody's wife, before I was somebody's mother, before I was somebody's preacher, any of or any of those things. I was outside, tr-
Right.
trying to find my way in the world.
Yeah, like us all, because I don't think anybody here has it figured out, right? So,
No.
yeah. Now, well, when did you realize that I'm not just a sister or a mom anymore? I'm actually a caregiver.
When they diagnosed Jeremiah with cerebral palsy when he was about, I want to say 3 months old, it was like, oh snap, this is a big deal. This means that my child is going to be different for the rest of his life, and then that means I'm going to be different for the rest of my life because I have to adjust as a mother to what he needs versus what I was already providing to my oldest son because I have two. My oldest is 27. So having to go bouncing in and out from the normal world to the disability world, it was pandemonium. It was always, how do I, merge them two together so that, it can be an all inclusive thing. But when your child has cerebral palsy, which is a multifaceted medical diagnosis, it's not a one-stop shop. So it was always different. My oldest son's world was always different than my youngest son. And then my world was just like broken glass somewhere between all of that. And I was just trying to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, because you're still trying to be a mom to two different boys. And, of
Yes, yes.
when people have multiple children, obviously, yeah, but you're still that same mom, so there's a significant difference to when you have a child with a disability compared to a child that's not, because they're also trying to understand, well, why can't my brother or sister do the same things that I can do, and all of these things. So it's a
Mhm.
lot of, while you're trying to figure it out, you're also trying to explain it to your other child. So it's a hard time. I can definitely understand for sure. So, how does those caregiving roles feel different emotionally? Like being a caregiver for your sister, I mean, excuse me, for your brother compared to your child.
With my brother, it's totally different because he doesn't live in a home with us anymore. He was in a home with us for about 5 or 6 years after our mom passed in 2008. So because he's mostly nonverbal, it was similar in some ways, but in some ways it wasn't because with him and Jeremiah, I had to learn what they meant when they did certain things since they couldn't say, "Oh, my head hurt." Oh, I feel sick or anything like that. I had to watch their body language and give verbal cues and give a lot of promptings. My brother is mobile. He can go to the bathroom, wash up, do whatever. If you tell him to do something and show him, he'll do it. Jeremiah can't do any of it. So
Right.
while I had a mostly semi-independent adult with my brother, I basically have an invalid with Jeremiah. So I was going back and forth between, okay, I don't have to do all this for my brother, but I got to do everything for Jeremiah. So
Yeah.
it was tiring because it was like, ooh, I got the ease over here, but then I have to be all of that over here. So it was a lot. It was a lot,
No.
and I had my sister as well back then, who had um, issues with her digestive and bowel tract and all that, which unfortunately turned out to be cancer, and she eventually passed away from it. But just having those three different dynamics in my house, it was a lot because I was doing it with minimal to no support. So she was sick and had to have infusions. My brother has autism and I have to figure him out. And then I had to literally do everything for Jeremiah. And this was every day, all day.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling
it was different.
people don't understand caregiving is a superpower. I'm telling you,
It's
it
not what
brings
you
out
think it
strength.
is.
Yeah, it brings out
Yeah.
a strength that you never thought you had. Okay.
Yeah. You
Ever.
just do it.
Yeah,
It's
you just
not,
do it.
you have to live it to understand it. That's why I tell people I can talk to you all day long and tell you what is required in my circumstance, but for you to get the gist of what the day to day, the emotional, spiritual toil, and stuff that it takes, you have to actually live it and walk through it. Then you will have a better understanding because the explanations literally don't do it justice. You have to see it,
Yeah.
and experience it.
yeah, it's like, but even if you made a video about caregiving, it's still you gotta watch it in real time to
Yeah, you have to
truly,
go live so you can see it. Going live
yeah.
brings about, the hidden mysteries that words don't even begin to scratch the surface for when it comes to caregiving.
Right. And a lot of people now are posting videos like a day in a life as a caregiver so you can, you know, um, see a little bit of it from their dynamic. And I think it's starting to now open open people's eyes to that world, even though
Yeah.
a 30-second reel can't really give you the full concept, but to be able to see, like, yeah, like I say to people all the time, I'm not just wiping somebody's butt. Like, no, there's a lot of things
Okay.
goes in into it, like, for sure.
Hmm.
So, but that's what people think. That's the mindset. So, a lot of caregivers say, I don't even recognize myself anymore, right? I think I have said that. I've heard other people say that. Did you ever have that kind of moment?
Yeah, a lot of things happen, when you become a caregiver. Your life is not your own anymore. Your
Right.
personality, I want to say, is not your own because you're trying to cater to someone else's needs on a constant basis. You're putting your dreams, your goals, your desires, your feelings, your emotions on the back burner to provide the quality of life for somebody else. So even though you may have a headache, it's like you can't have a headache because you got to go cook because Jeremiah can't cook. You don't get to lay down and be sick. You get to lay down, but not for long because you got to get up and go change diapers. So what sick? What's that? Going out on a date? What's that?
Yeah,
I'm
that's real.
tired. The last thing I would listen, I would love to sit at a restaurant and talk to anybody. I'm not listen, anybody else other than Jeremiah and caregivers and doctors and all that. But I'm tired at the end of the day. It's not that I don't want to do it. And this is one of the things that I had to explain to my family members because some of them are hurt because they're like, you don't ever come to anything. Baby, do you know what I deal with every day? You see
Yeah,
me
the
on
social
social media, so you
off.
know what I deal with every day. At the end of
Yeah,
the day, I'm exhausted. The stuff that you see me do, I'm forcing myself to do. When you see me go do books and things like that and stuff like that, this is me trying to get out of the darkness of caregiver burnout and feeling depressed and feeling defeated and feeling alone. It's not that we don't want to be around you, but by the time I have to lift him and put him in the chair, make sure he has food, make sure his diapers changed and all that, load him up in the car alone, mind you, not there's nobody else. Load him up in
right.
the car and then try to come to whatever event you're talking about, only to be there for a few minutes because at some point he's going to need to be changed. He's going to start being in pain because he's spastic. Then I got to leave and go back home and then take him out the chair, change him and get him comfortable and do all that over again. Let's twinkle thing. You think I'm going to do that? Probably not.
It's
And
too
since you
much.
don't live this life, you're judging me. You see what I'm saying? You're judging me thinking that, oh, I just don't love y'all and I don't want to be around you. I'm literally in the house. Unless I'm at, like I said, a doctor's appointment or some sort of vendor event. I have not been on vacation in over 20 years. I have not been on no plane, no bus, no train, no nothing.
Yeah,
So take a number. If you're upset, take a number. I have not
right.
gone to family events that you think I've gone to. I have not gone to funerals or any of those kinds of things after my grandmother and my sister died 2 weeks apart. I haven't done anything. I'm just now peeking out of the darkness because I went to therapy and things like that. I literally suffered in silence and didn't say anything to anybody because I felt like, what's the point of telling them? They don't talk to me on a regular anyway. So I'm tired of explaining what should be obvious.
Right.
So I know I don't recognize myself because the me that I was before that totally had to take a back seat. No, I can't go to King's Dominion at the spur of the moment with you. No, I can't
Yeah.
just go hop in the car and go on a road trip with you for the weekend because everything is revolving around my son. If he don't have care, I ain't going.
Yeah.
I can't pick him up and put him in a hotel room bed and get him out of bed anymore and all that kind of stuff. The things that people think, which if we just have an intelligent conversation and try to understand, then you will know what this is like and you won't say these stupid things to caregivers that you say or try to hurt our feelings because you think that, we're living our best life and we're just living it without you or whatever. We're screaming, hey, come spend time with us, sit and have coffee with us,
Yeah.
help me
Bring
do
bring the
something
entertainment
else.
to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring
We can't get
bring it
out the
to
house.
us.
Yeah.
because going out the house, by the time, like I said, thinking about all that, just for me to go one place down the street to get my nails done, just to go one place, it's like, no, it's better off out if I just stay at home. And that's where I lost myself. And I felt like if my son could not have a quality of life, that somehow I didn't deserve to have one either because I
Mm,
birthed him this way.
right.
So I had to wrestle with that. I'm definitely not the same Monique that I was before I had kids or became a wife. Of course I wasn't, because now I have all this responsibility that A, I did not expect, B, I did not ask for, C, that I don't really get help with, D, that I really still don't understand, but I'm just navigating through the waters as best as I can with the help of God and with the grace of God.
Right.
And still trying to figure out myself as a woman, what I want out of the rest of my life. Because half of my life is over. I'm 50.
Yeah.
So I have more years behind me than probably that I have ahead of me. So
Now
who is Monique now?
let me ask you something you had said, because I think there's a component of caregiver guilt there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And so it's like, well, if he can't go out basically and have fun and do all the regular things, then I don't deserve to do them. And
yes, absolutely. That's how I
you
feel.
know, and I think that, and I know you said you went to therapy, so I just kind of want to talk about how you feel about that now, compared to then when you were suffering in silence, because I think a lot of caregivers, I think that's how they feel, whether it's for their own child or a parent or or whomever. I think when we start that caregiving life, we because we are sacrificing for other people, sometimes people think that the sacrifice means like, oh well, I can't go do that because they can't do it because I used to do it with them, or whatever the case is. And that's not really how it should go. I don't know how you did. Have you gotten out of that? Or are you still in that?
No,
Or okay.
no. Um, because I've, had opportunities to do certain things, and it's like I gotta leave my kid behind
Yeah.
think about the reality that you have to leave your kid behind
Mm-hmm.
majority of the time, whether it's for ministry purposes or being a vendor, or like I say, even going on a vacation. Unless I have an entourage with me to be able to lift him and to help me with him, he has to stay behind. And
Mm-hmm.
so it hurts for me to look at him on camera and I'm sitting at a five-star hotel eating shrimp or something, because he doesn't get to experience that with me. Or if I
Right.
was to go get on a plane or go somewhere I always wanted to go. My oldest can go with me, and that's wonderful. We're making memories. But Jeremiah have to look at pictures, and he don't necessarily know what the pictures is. He just know that mommy's in it. He sees mommy with a book in her hand, or he sees mommy, posing with somebody. So it's hard, it's hard to push myself and say, listen, you've done all that you can do and you're
Yeah.
doing a great job. You're doing the best that you could do. You have to go live your life so then you won't age and be regretful that you didn't,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he's
And
happy
that
in his mind.
right. And that
He's happy.
can turn into remorse, that guilt, you know,
Yeah.
and or resentment, I guess, rather, as well. And that's not something we want our caregivers to experience, but we know that
Hmm.
emotion, it's part of that emotional roller coaster that us as caregivers
Yeah.
tend to go through, unfortunately, that again people just don't understand. But I like I said, I love the community that we have on social media, and I love that we are putting
Yes.
conversations out there. All we can hope is that the algorithms put us in front of the right people,
Yeah.
so these conversations
Absolutely.
can continue to be spoken about, as well. So being a mom, already comes with sacrifice, of course, right? We have a lot of parents that watch the podcast, but being a caregiver mom adds another layer to it all. So how has caregiving changed how you see motherhood?
It's almost like the part of mothering where your kids grow up and you just to release them into the world don't happen.
Right.
So stepping in and out of okay, I'm your mom, but now I'm also your caregiver and I'm also your guardian. So not only am I the person who birthed you, now I'm the person that has to make all of the decisions for your life, for the rest of your life, whether it's the best decision or not, because you can't tell me what you want or what you need. So here I am wrestling again, going, okay, if I was in this predicament, what would I want? Well, I can't answer that because I'm not in that predicament. I would like to think that I would do XYZ if or I would have liked to somebody force somebody to do XYZ if I was in that position where I couldn't communicate. It's a constant, I'm serious, it's a constant mental battle
Yeah, I was just
every
about,
day. It
but I was
literally
about,
is. That's the
yeah.
best way I can explain it to you. I don't even, I can honestly say that I don't even understand how we as caregivers are still sane in a society that's so freaking ignorant.
Yeah, that's true. That
You
is
know,
very, very
I
true.
I just know that it's the grace it's the grace of God because it's like I'm telling you in plain English what's going on, and you're
Mhm.
still trying to pick it apart with your you know, uneducated rhetoric. All you got to do is, why didn't you do? You could have done okay. And where were you in those equations to help me implement all you could have done is, or all you should have done was, or all you had to do
Saying.
is?
I hate those sayings. All you got to do, I hate that. So, well, let me ask you this. So, parents of children with additional needs also here, God gives special kids to special parents. How does that kind of statement make you feel?
It makes my blood boil. I tell every time somebody say it and I see it on social media, I comment on it. People cuss
Mhm.
me out for it. Don't care. I live this. Is that supposed to be encouraging or something? What does that even mean? So that means that I'm strong and you're weak, you're not important because God didn't give you a special needs loved one. I mean, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. What does that even mean?
Yeah. It doesn't,
Why?
it
Oh, it just
doesn't,
irks me to my core. Like, what do you just listen? Just don't say nothing. If you don't know what to say to us, just don't say nothing because that's not helping. God knew what he was doing when he gave you special needs child. So now I want to go fight God.
right. And you hit on a quick point I just want to mention, because I think a lot of people when they're in that situation, they blame God and they say, well, why me?
Yes.
And like,
Yes.
how did you get through that moment? Because did you have that moment? And if so, how did you get through that?
I shook a fist at God all the time. I'm like, God, you listen. How did you decide on this carousel of life to just pick certain people to be, special needs parents versus not? What was your criteria? Because I don't see that on my resume, sir. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to be on the strongest battles, toughest soldiers brigade. I didn't sign up for that. You know what I'm saying? Times two or three or whatever. Because I'm a generational caregiver. I didn't just start doing this. I took care of my sister. I took care of my brother. I took care of my mother. I took care of my grandmother. I didn't listen. Where was this at? I ain't seen none of this on my birth certificate, none of that. So I had to be honest, like God, I don't want who wants this? I love my
Yeah.
son.
That's
I tell
really,
people
it's
that all the
really,
time.
yeah. And
Yeah,
like,
I love my son, but I hate cerebral palsy. I absolutely do. Now, did it make me the woman that I am today? Yes. Did it teach me things about myself that I didn't know? Yes. But look at what it took to get here.
hmm
And so,
right.
yeah, I was like, God, why didn't you stop this? You could have just easily, and I say that about, when we've lost family members and things like that at a young age. Lord, you could have just and Jeremiah would be walking and everything. My sister would still be alive. My mom would still be alive. My grandparents, would still be alive. You could have, let their years go on a little while longer or whatever. How do you decide this stuff? How do you decide who stays here and who goes home to be with you? How do you decide when to heal someone and when not to? How do you decide what it takes to grow our faith and all that? See, I'm a deep thinker, so I got these kind of questions that make people tell me I need to
Yeah. It
go
was
to
a
therapy. But
21
these are
question.
valid questions. These are
Yeah.
valid God questions. Like, you don't tell me I
Right.
can't ask God these questions. I sure can. I'm like,
I know
God,
that's what they say. Don't question God. But
that's a
the
lie.
reason why, yeah, right. And the reason why I brought that up is because, people have that mindset, and then people know that they are questioning God, because it's a human nature for us to say, well, why God, why me, of all the people did you put me into
Yeah.
this? And
Yeah.
and I've had a similar conversation with other people, and you know what they say to me? Why not you? And I
But
was like,
that
I'm like, okay,
listen, I
still,
respect all y'all
like,
pastors and leaders and theologians and people whose faith is so perfect that it's never been shaken, whose relationship with God is so perfect that you don't doubt him not one iota,
right,
because that's not my
exactly,
story. That's not my story. Okay. I want to listen. I have valid questions. Now, whether God chooses to answer me, because sometimes we can't handle the answer, and God is
right,
wise enough to know not to answer us in certain things because he knows the motive of where it's coming from. It's coming from our soul crowd. But we can question God. Jesus questioned God. He said, if this cup, if it be thy will, let this cup pass from me. Is that not a question?
well,
And he went to the cross anyway. So
exactly,
go to Jesus and say, "Well, Jesus, why not you?" And all that. Go say that to somebody else. What you mean, why not you? It's easy for you to say because you're not in that situation, and it's kind of a dismissive statement from people who are glad that they are not caregivers. They're glad they're not special needs parents. Why not you? Okay, so how about why not you? You ain't
exactly.
you ain't seen nothing yet. Just because you perfect today and you can walk in your mobile today, baby, you gonna age something and your body gonna break down. And God forbid you experience somebody who comes to you with the same jargon, and you're gonna remember me telling you this and having this conversation. Then you're gonna say, "Oh, now I get it."
Yep.
It shouldn't
You
take for that for you to get it.
And it just made me think. I think what I'm gonna do on on TikTok. I think I'm gonna make a video that says phrases no caregiver likes to hear, and then let everybody just chime
Oh
in.
yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of those lately. I got plenty.
Yeah,
Those
and
three right there.
just let us repost it, and be like, if you know a caregiver, do not say any of these things to them. Have a nice day.
You're better than me. What does that mean? You're better than me. I couldn't do it. That's why you're not doing it.
Exactly.
Why didn't you just put him in a home? Why didn't you put yourself in a
People
home?
always want to just throw somebody away so
Well, wait
fast.
a minute. Even if I put him in a home, I still have to micromanage because he can't communicate. So I still would be over here trying to live my best life and still try to micromanage in this facility or wherever
And
you think
people
he's
don't
supposed to go
realize,
to.
when you put someone in a facility, when you're having to be that involved, it's more of a worse situation, because now it's like, as opposed to you're dealing in the comfort of your own home, now you're having to go out and do this and do that with with the person. And every time there's a situation, if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you got to go to the facility.
Thank
No,
you.
I'd rather just deal with it, where I am.
They think that it's an easy option. Like we're supposed to just drop them there and go off into the sunset and live our lives without thinking about them, without, going
Yeah.
to
And
visit,
it does not
without
work like
being
you
involved.
can't
You think
no
that I'm gonna
responsibilities.
feel scot-free because my son
Mm-mm.
is in home, like it's total freedom or something. Who told you that lie? It's
Right.
not.
And that's because they've done it with probably their parents. It was like, all right, bye. They're like, oh yeah, those people, they know how to take care of them. I don't have to worry. They call me every now and then, and I go up there and visit on holidays. Well, I'm just not that person. I'm not built that way. That's not how I do with my loved one. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm active all up and through there. Take me.
Okay, so I see if I had an entourage or he had more than one person that was
Yeah.
invested and knew him enough to take the reins when I was burnt out, like his father, for example. Or, but that's not the case. So, like you said, I'm at home. You think I'm supposed to just drop everything I'm doing to come? No, he's at the home. You have staff. This is what you're supposed to be doing, not me. So no, it's not easier. There's no easy way to this. It's not an easy way. It's planning, it's boundaries, it's tears, it's prayer, it's burnout, it's all of that packaged into one. And you got to do this every single day.
Yep. Every day, nonstop. So, did you ever feel like your identity became only caregiving and nothing
Yeah.
else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I went from being single, Monique, to being Miss Duel, which, I was married at one point, to being Ronald and Jeremiah's mother, to being, oh, that's Monique, that's the woman who has a special needs son with cerebral palsy, to, oh, that's Jeremiah's mom. Oh, that's the lady who wrote the caregiver book and the grief book. So it's not just, oh, this is Monique. It's
Right.
Monique the caregiver, Monique the advocate, and I'm not complaining about these titles. I'm just explaining
Yeah.
the many hats we've had to wear. Uh, doing ministry and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're not just who we were prior to that, the single us. We're not just that anymore. Once we've crossed over into these arenas of whatever it is you do, you're known for what you do, not for who
Right.
you are.
So on that note, what boundaries then, because you mentioned boundaries a little earlier, what boundaries did you have to create to protect Monique, the woman, not just Monique, the caregiver?
Well, my boundaries weren't healthy ones. Like I said, I just closed myself off from everybody
Hmm.
because I felt like what was obvious should not have had to be explained.
But if you could go back in time and redo those boundaries, what would you tell that Monique?
If you don't see me and I'm not calling you and I don't respond to your text message, well, what you think is happening?
Right.
It's not because I don't want to be bothered or I think I'm better than everybody else or all I think about is myself. Baby, I'm trying to save myself from burnout. I'm trying to save myself from, like I said, the darkness and the dark thoughts that tell me that, being on the other side of heaven is better than going through this every day all day. Fighting the thoughts that say, oh, well, if you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life by yourself, let's just speed this up, God. Let's go. Curtain call. Let's just speed this up. So yeah, setting the boundaries that I set, I was hyper vigilant because I had to, my brain tells me that, okay, if I go out, let me make sure that I'm calling several times in the 2 hours or 3 hours that I may be out, if I get that much, to make sure Jeremiah's okay. Or let me go look at the camera because I have to see him for myself, since when I see him, I'll know if he's okay or not.
Right.
Um, trying to cope, I just, and it wasn't on purpose. It started out me not doing one thing, not showing up for one thing. It started with me saying no to one event. Then it went to no, maybe I'll do it next week, to months and years. And then next thing you know, I was just a total hermit. Like I did everything from home. I literally do everything from home. I have not stepped foot in a grocery store. What is this, 2026? I have not set foot in a grocery store in over 4 years.
Wow, girl.
I do Instacart and all of that kind of stuff because my brain, in my brain, it's like, well, I'm burning gas anyway, so either I'm gonna burn gas or let somebody else burn theirs and pay them for it. So hey, I'm not putting miles on my car. So all of these things I built for myself to protect me and Jeremiah because I was
Right.
trying to figure it all out. Take care of
Right.
him, take care of me, uh, be a productive woman, be a better mom and be a better big sister and a caregiver and all that stuff. And while I'm drowning, going through caregiver burnout, suffering from depression, suffering from grief, not talking to anybody, nobody talking to me until they realized that I was in trouble. Then of course everybody comes and say, "Oh, what's the problem?" At this point, I don't want to talk to you because this was happening way before now. It was
Right.
stewing way before now, and you left me to myself because you felt like I was the strong one. I was taking care of three different individuals, three or four different individuals with three or four different medical diagnoses and stuff like that, with no help from their fathers or other family members, and you thought I was okay. Really?
Yeah, I don't think that, and it's not it really is, it's no excuse, but I just don't think that people think that way, that we would want them to think. Not everybody thinks like we do, and I
Right.
just people just don't realize that. They don't understand. Like now the saying is go check on your strong friends, go do this, go do that, because certain things have happened unfortunately in people's lives, but
Mm-hmm.
people just don't
Mm-hmm.
see that as a sign. They go right to the negative part, but they don't see that as a cry for help, unfortunately.
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't know why society is like that. I really don't. And unfortunately, it's not the people that recognize it is only is ones that can actually relate. Unfortunately, and
Yes. Yes. I
it's
mean,
sad.
because let's think about it, sis. How many people actually called you and say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to slit my wrist,"
Yeah,
or "Can you come get my son because I'm in the car and I want to drive my car to the wall because I'm tired"?
right.
Who
Nobody.
actually tells you that?
Yeah, you have to read between the lines when people are going through stuff because people really are, asking for help. Like I just seen something on TikTok. Unfortunately, this young
Hmm.
lady took her life and she was in the military and she was doing some other things and she was just 22 and she was celebrating, her birthday in the car. She was just saying happy birthday.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know the full backstory. I just saw that video and people saying that
Hmm.
she passed away. But it's just like nobody realized. Like they just see, oh yeah, you're doing good, you're doing all these things, but nobody really takes the time to have a conversation anymore. And
Exactly. You're not having the conversation. You're
how
assuming.
right, they're making assumptions like, how are you doing? What's going on with you? I know there's a lot, going on in your life. Like I might can't relate or can't help, but I want you to know that if you can always talk to me to vent or whatever the case is, it's like nobody does that stuff
That would
anymore.
be
And
perfect.
yeah,
That would
and
be in
that's
the
what
perfect
people
world.
have.
That would be perfect.
Whether your person is a caregiver or not, they could just be going through sometimes people that lose a job because that was all they were identified by was their job, right? And who they
Hmm.
were. And now that that's been taken from them, they don't know who they are, what their role is supposed to be in life. Those are the people that you need to keep an eye on. Again, no, we're not all therapists, but we still need to take it a little extra step and have a little compassion in the world, for
Yeah.
and take and turn that mirror sometimes on ourselves because we also don't realize what we're in need of. And I know people will say, well, you should be asking for what you're in need of, but sometimes you don't you're when you're going through it and you're drowning, you don't realize that you need the help. you know
Yeah.
it's like a
Yeah.
subconscious response that you're giving that people need to read between the lines and
And
decipher.
something else is
Well,
most of us as caregivers don't know how to be a friend. We
yeah.
don't know how to enter. And I'm okay. I'm gonna talk about me then, because I can only talk about me. I didn't know how to be a friend. I didn't know how to hang around my family members and belong and all that because I was so used to fending for myself. So I'm used to this wall of protection or whatever that I built. Not that I'm making excuses, but this is my process and my journey. So I've had to apologize to plenty of people because they just
Right.
felt like I was doing these things on purpose or something. Why would you think that I would do these kinds of things on purpose? What is it serving me? Because it's sure not giving me no help.
No, not at
Because
all.
ain't nobody came to my rescue yet. Now, with that statement being said,
Hmm.
I'm still with the same one or two people that's been there with us since day one in Jeremiah's 25. So how am I spending this as a sob story or trying to get people to do anything? Because nobody
Yeah.
still ain't doing nothing. So that's a dumb argument. Like I said, I'm just trying to make it through 24 hours and like I said, take care of my loved ones and trying to find me. So no, I didn't know how to be a friend or how to belong in the family members. What am I going to talk to you about? Because I don't go out. I don't go out a lot or go to movies. So I really don't have nothing to talk to you about other than a doctor's office or something about Jeremiah or something like that. And so I don't say anything because I don't want to bring anybody down and things like that. And I certainly don't want pity. That's the last thing I want. I love community. I'm a people person. I always have been. We don't know how to come to you and say, because it's obvious. If you see what we're doing on a regular basis, whether it's on social media or not, your loved ones are being caregivers. Why not say, hey, do you want, can I bring you a cup of coffee? I don't
Yeah.
know how to take
Come sit
care of
down.
Jeremiah, but I would love to bring you some dinner or something so that you don't have to cook. That's one less thing that you have to do today. You wait for us to reciprocate. How you expect us to reciprocate something we don't get? I'm always the rescue ranger. I'm the first one to volunteer to show up. I'm the first one to do it, to give, and all that kind of stuff. And I've done it to my own detriment while people let me do it. And so I got to the point where I just shut down. And so that's why I said I had to apologize to people because I'm like, you don't know the level of trauma that I've experienced. And I am just now getting through that trauma at this age, going to therapy and realizing that I was in toxic situations the entire time, not just from people that I considered my friends or my mentors, but also from family members who I held in high esteem.
Right. Yeah.
And so navigating that on top of trying to navigate through caregiver, my plate is full. I don't have I don't have the capacity, sis, to go through unnecessary heartbreak and unnecessary odds and petty differences and all that. I'm not in high school no more.
Right.
If you can't
Right.
have an intelligent conversation with me to seek to understand why I am the way that I am, instead of you assuming that I'm that way for a particular reason, then we just gonna have to agree to disagree. And this is where boundaries come in at. I have to put boundaries up. Not that I hate you, because I don't hate anybody. It's too much energy. You don't deserve all that. But I do set boundaries for my own peace sake. I don't have time to worry about if you don't, you choose not to engage with me or um get to know Jeremiah. Half of my family don't even know Jeremiah other than seeing him on social media. And I have a big family. Let that sink in. Why is that? You're not going
Wow.
to say it's me. You're not going to say it's me.
Yeah. And that's so unfortunate. But your caregiver family got you, sis. So
Yes. And so
uh,
it is what it is. And I'm grateful for it. These are the things that we need to talk about because when you don't have this communication, because you're in a different atmosphere and space than your family members, you're always going to be the outsider anyway because your child can't do what everybody else can do.
right.
So I'm already outside, so I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm already on the outside. I'm used to it. I'm shocked when you want to bring me in because now I'm like, what you want? So I'm
People
trying
still,
not, trying to give people the benefit of the doubt.
when people see you as a caregiver, it's like because they know we're always giving. I feel like we are the ones that they come to when they want something as well. And it's like, what have you done for me lately?
They think we're suckers. Yeah, but what's disheartening is that they use the fact that our children have special needs as leverage to offer their help or their, like, oh, well, if you do this for me, then I can, possibly blah, blah, blah with Jeremiah. Baby, I got Google, I got a whole caregiver community, I got, we got
Yeah.
AI,
They
we got
need
everything
that
else. So
kind of.
whatever I need, I can find,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
so do you think caregiving took away from your identity or revealed another version of you?
Both,
Okay.
both, because the mother that I thought I was going to be, ooh, this is deep.
Yeah. Take your time.
The mother that I thought I was going to be with Jeremiah, I didn't get to be that. So that's where, if there's a loss, that will be that part, if you will. He can't,
Hmm.
we didn't go to basketball games or soccer games. He didn't play no sports and all this other kind of stuff. So the mother that I thought I would be with him and his brother growing up together, doing high school stuff together, getting their first apartments or their first cars and all that. My oldest son has done all of that, becoming an empty nester. No. But on the flip side, it gave me a strength and a resilience that I didn't know I had to go through the level, like I said, of trauma that I've already experienced in childhood, growing up, and going through different things, and to overcome that, to step into a thing that is foreign to me,
Right.
and trying to be okay with this narrative that this is what it's going to be until God changes the narrative, and being okay in that, and feeling like that you're enough in that That is the fight every day because it's like, man, did I do everything I've supposed to be doing today? I need another 24 hours in a day. I need about 48 of them or something. And constantly scrutinizing yourself, even when you accomplish things. I graduated from college twice, and I'm still saying, man, I could have done that different in that semester. That done happened and gone and over with. But my
Yeah.
brain is like, how can we improve life from this point on? What can we do next to make sure that Jeremiah is going to be well, taken care of in the event that something happens to me? Like I said, our brains are always moving. So there are parts of me that I lost. Like I said, I can't just up and be like, come on, Sierra, let's go on a girls trip, put grandma in the car, let's go, and all that kind of stuff. I gotta look at my friends, show me pictures when they go places. Because it's just the support is just not there yet. I have to look at pictures of places of people that I talked to them about going with, and they went without me.
Yeah, and I know that's hard. Yeah.
Okay, stuff like that. These are the things that we got to navigate through because that's our life. If it's not accessible, of course, Jeremiah can't go anywhere. Like I said, fighting that voice in my head that says, "Mo, you got to have a life too." And it's like, well, how can I genuinely be happy for myself?
Right. But you do understand that you deserve a life and you deserve to still have
Yes.
the identity, outside
Yeah.
of Jeremiah. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I know that like you are doing an amazing job. Like I don't even have to see him to know that just, in our conversations and talking with you that, you are enough. And, you know, look, if you don't do nothing else no more, you've done enough. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you so
And,
much. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, and I truly mean that. And it's just like I know it's hard to try to, find that balance, but we're
yeah.
gonna try to get you out. Even if it's on the porch to the car. I'm gonna have to come
Well,
down the
yeah,
I'm gonna just be like, come on, girl, let's come to the car.
oh, I could come out and then listen, I could go outside. I'm better now that I'll go somewhere,
Well, it
things
was
like
a
that. But
very
going out of,
hard,
yeah, yeah, come on down here. We could go to Starbucks or something or have some lunch, or maybe I could come there or we could meet somewhere in the middle. With enough planning, it's possible. Like I said, I just have to work around it. But a lot of times I just choose not to because what it takes for me to work around it is exhausting.
right.
you know so and that's for me, that's my fault. Yes, you can blame me for that, but I'm doing much better. I'm driving my car more, and I told you that on last thing.
Yep.
I'm outside more, getting sun, um and just getting back outside and being in society. I know that probably sounds weird to other people, but I literally stay in the house,
Yeah. And
which I wasn't that way at
and
first. Yeah,
like I said, I think that deserves recognition and praise as well. So just keep doing it. It's just, I mean, it's not something that you can flick the switch on off and on, right? Like it takes time,
yeah.
and it's not easy. It's like, you have to have that trust as well. Just like when a mother
Hmm.
has a child and it's time for them to go back to work, that separation anxiety, right?
Yeah,
It's that same.
yeah,
However,
yeah.
although Jeremiah is an adult, it's still because he still needs tending to, right? So it's still that anxiety of
Hmm.
leaving him and knowing, no, nobody is ever going to take care of them the way that you do, right? But
Right.
it's still just trying to find that balance because you can't do it if you don't have it, if you burn out, so
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
definitely a
Because I'm
balance.
telling you,
Yeah.
yeah, because having your brain telling you all the time, as soon as you plan something, Lord, please keep him healthy. Please let everything fall in place. Please don't let nobody call out or cancel because I done paid this money to go on this trip or for this hotel.
Yeah,
These are the things that you think about all the time.
all the
Like
time.
he's been great all this time, and it seems like when you get ready to do something, then here comes, and you're like, Lord, I've been in the house for 9 whole months straight and nothing happened. Ain't nobody bothered me. Nobody was sick,
Right.
sniffling, coughing, nothing. Now I'm going outside. Is I think,
And then
you
got
might
a
need
universe
to,
working like that. I'm over here like knock on wood because look, just like we are
yeah.
recording and the aide keeps messaging me asking questions. I'm like, man, when did we get?
See,
I'm like,
but then people don't understand, sis. This is what we got to go
yeah,
through. We're not on our phone because we want to be on 24/7. We get headaches because we always got an email coming, a text message, a phone call. That's why our brains don't shut off. And you tell us, oh, just go meditate, keep practicing and doing and all that. I still have yet to shut my mom brain off enough to where I can say I actually shut it off.
Yeah, I've tried that. I don't think I've had a full 24 hours. I might have a couple of hours where I can shut the brain off, but
We need to go on a trip because maybe that's the only way I can just kind of disconnect when I know that there's no way I can get back home in an hour and that I'm where I am for the days I am, then I can fully embrace and enjoy myself. But long as I am close enough to go home,
yeah,
it's like tick tock, tick tock. Okay, everything's fine. Great. Tick tock, everything's fine. I ain't did nothing while I was gone or nothing but be hyper vigilant.
right,
That's not fun.
right. No, I get you.
Yeah. So,
Well, you could sit
mhm.
across from another caregiver who is exhausted and feels invisible. What would you say to them?
Ooh. This reminds me of their TikTok video where they show that and game, where they ask the
Uh
questions
huh. Okay.
and they, get the answer. That one. I would say to the caregiver who is exhausted and feel invisible that you are enough. You gotta believe that though. You're enough. You're doing all that you can humanly do. God did not ask us to be God. He didn't ask us to be Wonder Woman, Superman, none of it. He did not ask us to have strength. He said to have strength in Him and in the power of His might. Give yourself grace. This didn't come with no book. This ain't come with no tutorial. You got to live this for whatever time God allowed you to have to go through this.
Mhm.
You're not invisible. Even though people may not acknowledge, there are people who don't say a word to you who's watching you and don't know what to say. They could be possibly be praying for you because they don't know how to connect. They don't want to say the wrong thing and don't want to offend. Everybody's not quiet because they don't see and they don't care. So don't believe that narrative. Just know that there's a community out here that cares, that will come and sit with you and let you cry and vent. However, listen, if I have to load Jeremiah up, I will load Jeremiah up, mask and all. We will come and sit there and let you cry and fall out and all that kind of stuff until you get it out because you have to get it out. Your body's keeping the score.
Yes.
So love on yourself as much as possible. Take that same energy, as they say, and pour into you whatever it takes. Like, I don't care if you start out with one thing like me. Go outside and sit in the sun for 15 minutes. Go sit in your car, start it up, drive around. If you don't want to drive to the mall, drive around the block and let the breeze blow in your face. Look at some birds, do something. You can't stay in this cave. I'm telling you what I know. You can't because you just get deeper and deeper in it. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to get dressed. You don't want to talk to nobody on the phone. It goes from one extreme to the next until your life is snuffed out, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
There is life
Thank you.
out here. There is beauty out here. There is fun and excitement and all of that. You just gotta find the right family and the right tribe to help you get there.
Um, well, finish this sentence. I am more than a caregiver. I am.
I am more than a caregiver. I am resilient. I am brave. I am passionate. I am a people person. And I have a big heart.
And that's what we love to hear. So, again, we talked about so many things this episode, and it's important to know, for those of you that don't know, caregiving can change your calendar, your relationship, your finances, and one thing we don't talk about is how much it changes yourself, right? Because again, it's a sacrifice. I keep saying that word because it truly is a whole
Yeah.
and emotional sacrifice. And we talked a lot about identity shift today, and what happens when someone you love depends on you, and how you find yourself again in the middle of it all. And again,
Yeah.
just like some of the things that Monique said, it's like if you have to turn that mirror sometimes on yourself and do a little self-reflection, essentially. And that's what the bottom line is. Like, do that, because if you don't take the time to do that because you're pouring out so much to someone else, you start going deeper and deeper in that hole, and it takes so much to try to be able to get out of it, and you already don't have the energy to get yourself out when you're told you're too deep. So before you get deep,
Yeah, you don't.
let's recognize
You
Take those
don't.
baby steps, like she said, going for a walk around the block, like just taking a couple of inches out a little further every day, or just, things that you love to do, try to incorporate them into what you're doing as a caregiver, or incorporate that into your life, so you don't lose that part of yourself. Because what happens is, when you lose that part of yourself, then you all those other negative emotions start to come up, the resentfulness and all of those things, and we tend to sometimes take it out on the people that we love, when even though we don't mean to, and we don't want to, and don't plan to, and so we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves first, which I know, again, caregiving is very much a selfless activity, but it's something that, you have to be able to take care of yourself first before you can give to other people. So, just keep that in mind. So I want to thank Monique for taking the time out of her busy schedule and her caregiving life to come spend some time with me on the bottom line. And, Monique, I know you have a lot of things going on. So can you share with our viewers, like, what you have going on, or how can they reach you so they can know more about you? Because of course you'll be back.
Uh,
I'm sure you'll be back for next season. So.
Listen, first of all, follow me all over social media. I'm Monique Duell everywhere except Instagram. I'm MSDEEREIGN. The podcast, I don't really have a schedule like I used to because my schedule shifted because of my job. But having a moment with Moni is out there. We are over 130 something episodes. It's a solo show because that's what I do. I talk about my life, what caregiving is like. I give you a word of encouragement. I offer you Christ. I give you a prayer and I'm out. So that's pretty much the gist of that. God shifted that a long time ago. So I don't have guests as of yet. I don't know if I will open it up and do some sort of caregiver conversation thing separately outside of that because life is busy at this point. But keep an eye out because I post, if I'm doing anything, I'll post it. My books are on Amazon: Grief is a Gangster, Caregiver CPR, Jeremiah the Jackrabbit. Check those out, or you can inbox me and order them directly from me. I ship them out in 2 days with your tracking number. You will get your items. We don't play them games over here. So if you're interested, or even if you're interested in booking me for an event and things like that, my link tree is linktr.ee/Monique Duell. There's a form up there with my email address, or you can inbox me either way, and I can navigate through that if you want me to come speak at your event or your ministry event, talk to parents, caregivers, whatever the case may be, because I do speaking a lot. I do this a lot.
That's awesome. And look at you stepping out. Hey.
Yeah, we going outside. We outside this. We outside.
All right.
We outside.
Yep. And that link tree is going to be down below in the caption and her social media, as well. So definitely follow her, support her, and all the things that she is doing. She is the author of, you said, 9 books, right?
Oh, yeah, about that,
Yeah.
give or
So,
take, because I have a couple of co-writes too, so I might be a little off by one or two, but
okay.
the two that I may be off are in the works, so stay tuned for
Yeah.
that.
So she always got something coming, is the bottom line.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's the
make
bottom line.
make sure that you follow her link tree, and check everything that she has going on. And again, like she said, she can minister and speak at any type of event, in regards to caregiving and all these other things that she has going on. So again, thank you so much, Monique, for being a guest on the bottom line.
Thank you
Is
for having
Yes,
me.
and for my viewers, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share this. Share this with a caregiver. Share this with a
Cheers.
mother. Everyone that has a role and responsibility in the world of some kind can relate to what we talked about today. So, with
Mm-hmm.
that being said, we will see you next week on another episode of The Bottom Line Is.